SigTalks, Episode 029, The Best of Sigafoose the Great, Track Number 2. Are you looking to advertise a chiropractic product or service or your next seminar? If you are, and you want your product to go directly in front of some of the best that chiropractic has to offer, then SigTalks, the chiropractic philosophy, might just be what you're looking for. SigTalks is downloaded on average over 165 times daily, and in over 60 countries around the world, and on every continent except Antarctica. Since its launch in March of this year, we have had over 31,000 downloads in all. If you are interested in advertising on our show, you can contact us at chirosig@sigafoose.com. That's CHIROSIG@sigafoose.com. Or you can call us at 443-619-8770. Don't miss out, limited space available at extremely simple and low rates. Non-competition clauses available on a first-come, first-served basis.
Hello, and welcome to SigTalks with your host, Dr. Carrie Sigafoose, your home for the chiropractic philosophy, where we discuss the teachings of Dr. James Sigafoose, from his writings to his talks and his many audio presentations.
I had forgotten how my father used to have the most awesome laugh. You'll get to hear it in a few moments. In this episode of SigTalks, we listen to a clip from his audio series, The Best of Sigafoose the Great. These collections of audios are from his many talks around the world and over a span of 15 to 20 years or so. This particular talk takes place in Canada. I chose this one because it goes along with last week's episode, because in the clip, Dr. Sigafoose talks about the last public talk that B.J. Palmer gave at Palmer School of Chiropractic. Well, more like he reads the last public talk that B.J. gave. So sit on back and enjoy the clip, and I'll see you on the other side.
Okay. What is this up here? It says seminar tapes and CDs and first hour, second hour, 3 hours. I don't get paid that much. I was up here 2 weeks ago with, I don't know what it was, actually. It was WCA something or other. And they didn't have a very big crowd, but I've noticed that in the seminars throughout the United States and Canada, for that matter, that there aren't a whole lot of chiropractors showing up for seminars anymore. Used to be that, what was that woman that used to have those things here? Rodell. Yeah, I mean, she had like 450 people sometimes. And yeah. And the last time it was minus 450 people. What?
Canada, we're in the north.
Yeah. Yes, well, you're right about that. You know, some of you don't know this, or maybe none of you know it, actually. My son-in-law is a Canadian, and I frisk him every time he comes home. And, but they bought a place up here by Niagara on the lakes. Nice, they built it. It's a nice, looks like a Bahamian place, you know, all the different colors, and it's quite nice. Cold, very cold, but it's nice. And my grandfather was from Quebec, and but he was an American Indian. He wasn't a typical Anglo-Saxon. You know, he was a little different. So, I want to talk to you today, this evening. I happened to be, I was rooting through some of my boxes for some reason or other, looking for something that I never found. And I came across this, which was given to me in the early 70s by J. Clay Thompson, for those of you who knew him. And this is the last talk that B.J. gave at Palmer. Very last one. So I want to share it with you because I read it the other night on a conference call that I do, and it inspired me to a great degree. So I thought I would share it with you because I think what's in here is very prophetic, and very real, and we really have to look at this thing. If you don't mind, I'm going to read it to you. I don't read things normally, but I will do this. He called it positive thinking, and he said, regardless of nationality, race, color, religion, 2 plus 2 equals 4, not sometimes, but always. It's that constant, fixed perpetuality and permanency, that law of stable stabilities, the same in application yesterday, today, and tomorrow, that makes mathematics a science, but standardizes business, commerce, finances, as well as the perpetuation of the human race. Imagine, if you can, what chaos would exist if every person fixed and used a variable and individualistic rule of mathematics of his own, each to his own likes or dislikes, disagreeing with all others. Regardless of nationality, race, color, religion, yesterday, today, or tomorrow, innate has been, is, and will continue to be the indefatigable and unalterable factor of every living being, not sometimes, but always, following the concepts of its rules, regulations, flowing from above down, inside out. You cannot change that law. This innate in male and female knows how many seeds to plant, where and how. Slightly later, this same inflexible innate in the mother knows the precision of mathematics, how many cells to build, how many to place here and there, and when and how to start them into health action. The same innate knows chemistry in all its human labs, how to take raw products and convert them into acids and alkalines in proper qualities and quantities, and distribute them in proper localities at the right time, as it alone knows its needs. In each individual, vertebral subluxation accidentally interferes with its internal law at work, which always has been, is now, and will continue to be the internal cause of disease. Its adjustment, correction, permits that internal innate to cure its ills in everybody alike. It's that constancy, perpetuality, and permanency of that universal law of fixed stabilities which makes the chiropractic principle of a knowledge of above, down, inside out a science. All goes well and works smoothly until the child is born. From then on, innate is an ignoramus, a dumb cluck, knows nothing about 2 plus 2 being a law, is unfit to be its own chemist. So a 4-year university basic science educated graduate, interfering from outside, knows more than enough to take over and prove how little he knows or can do to control the sick insides of another from outside in, below up. Imagine, look, see what chaos does exist in medicine, where every medical man is a rule of his own, each a variable unto himself, where no two diagnose alike, each treats disease differently, all disagree as to cause and cure, fluctuating all the time with all their approaches, do not now succeed and never will, under their brilliant antiquated theories of cause and cure coming from outside in, below up. Medicine is constantly in flux. History is replete with experimental treatments, causes, cures, nothing stable. There's no reliability to change, which issues from education from outside in, below up. Marcus Bacchus said, all religions that are good lead to God. We modify that by saying God works with all religions that are good. All chiropractors who are right with innate lead to innate. Or we can modify that to say innate works with all chiropractors who let innate work with them. What a blessing to know that we as chiropractors have a fixed law as our beacon, which we can rely upon, which always works if worked, in spite of us rather than because of us. What an absolute confidence we do place in the reliability of innate, always on the job, working for us from above down, inside out. And it's stated bluntly, you and we have at our command the one cause and one cure of one disease, that which medicine has long sought and never found. Will this discovery live, continue to serve sick world? It's obvious to all of us that we have long ago proven the correctness of our chiropractic principle and practice. We're surrounded by destructive, cancerous growths in our ranks. They have infiltrated into our schools, legislation, state boards, licenses, and into the practice of many. We ask every one of you to help and advise us what to do to keep our principle and practice pure, uncontaminated, simple, and single in character. Heroic measures are vital necessary. We must gather our forces into one solid phalanx to save our profession, not for ourselves as individuals alone, but for the right of the sick people to get well for today and tomorrow. It It's depressing to know that we have spent our life in developing this principle and practice into an actual reality, then see it slipping gradually and stealthily away from our grips. Once the truth has been ferreted out of chaos into the cosmos of sick humanity, which has proven itself in the lives of millions, adding millions of years to millions of lives in these past 60 years, that truth will not be lost. It has come, it's here, it'll live. It may go through a depression, but being a truth, it will come back into its own more forcibly in years to come. Of all people, medical men know that the failures of medicine. Being sincere and honest men seeking to help mankind, they have turned their eyes to the fundamentals we possess. They have not gone to the completeness of our realities. They're skirting the edges. But given time, they too will see what we have and what some of our people are discarding and denying. Given time, they will get back to the issues which prove themselves, and eventually they will have what we in part are losing and discarding. Today we stand on the threshold of our great responsibility to save what we have. Our life is beginning to recede. We are passing this challenge to you now, today, to save what we have labored so long, so diligently, to protect, preserve, and survive for the sake of mankind. Our legitimate chiropractic schools and colleges are our legitimate anchor for the future. They must survive and grow bigger, stronger, and better. They have a great and glorious future, which rests as much in your hands as it has in ours. Together, we can build a stronger ICA, a larger numerical strength, a following greater than ever before. An impregnable foundation has been laid. Our superstructure has been started. We have met every challenge in our supremacy so far. We have conquered our enemies. We now face the greatest challenge of all, survival. This you can and will meet. Of this, we have no doubt.
What if everyone followed their own rules or came up with different ways to explain math or science? What would we have? We would have chaos. I mean, law is law, whether it be innate or universal law. It is unchangeable. We are still fighting today as they were fighting back in BJ's time. I mean, this entire clip reeks of the exact same thing that is happening within chiropractic today. I mean, infighting between the mixers and the straights, trying to build a better ICA, building and growing legitimate chiropractic colleges. All of this is still going on, and though we are much more widely accepted within the general public, we still face the almost daily battle with the medical community for recognition of what we do. Simply put, finding and correcting the vertebral subluxation so that the power that made the body can heal the body from above, down, and inside out. Why is it that after all these years we are still fighting? BJ says that we have done the research. We have laid the foundation. Why is it that we, within our profession, are we trying to tear up that foundation? Why are we trying to make our own new laws? Why are we trying to find a different way to explain what has already been explained? I mean, we do not have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has been invented and it works. It is round and it rolls. Now, you can improve upon the basis of the foundation. There's nothing wrong with that. But you cannot change the laws of motion or the laws of physics. It is what it is. We all know that if the brain cannot talk to the body, that the body will fail. We all know that if you sever the spinal cord at the neck, that the body will ultimately die. We all know that if you interfere with the spinal cord at the level, or at any level, that the end organ that receives the message from the brain will suffer. What is so freaking hard to understand? It's like BJ said, 1 + 1 = 2. It is because it is, and that's the way it is, and that's the way the universe works. Come on, I mean, look at medicine. Look at the way they try to explain health from the outside in. It does not work. I mean, there's increase in autism. There's increase in cancer. There's increase in Alzheimer's. There's increase in diabetes. Hell, increase in obesity. We have more food in our nation than in any other nation in the world, but we have more malnutrition in our country than in any other country. We are eating ourselves to death, but we are starving. I mean, come on, people, get real. If we eat ding-dongs and ho-hos, what are we going to be made of? That's right, ding-dongs and ho-hos. If we don't allow the brain to communicate with the body and the body to communicate with the brain so that the body can heal itself under the direction of the brain, what is going to happen? That is correct. We are all going to be sick and diseased. I mean, come on now. I'm not the brightest bulb in the shed by any means. But I know that if I were to open up my computer right now and pinch off some wires, my computer might start up, but it's not going to work properly. I know that if I cut the power to my house on the outside, my light switches on the inside will still work, but I won't be getting any power to the lights. This is not rocket science, guys. We are all trying to make something that is so beautifully simple into something incredibly difficult. We have conquered our enemies. We now face the biggest challenge of all, survival. BJ said that. He said that in his last speech at Palmer. Every single one of you who are out there that are listening to me right now, get out there and stand on a box and scream from the top of your lungs the chiropractic story. It is up to us if we are to make it. Stand firmly on the foundation that was built for us and speak the truth. No, demand that people listen to the truth and never back down. Well, I think I'm going to stop here because the veins on the side of my head are bulging and I think I just scared the cat. But I want to leave you with this one thing. The research is there. The knowledge is within you all. And all you need to do is open your mouth and speak the truth. God bless, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. If you're interested in more of Dr. Sigafoose's material, head on over for your daily dose of chiropractic philosophy to www.sigafoose.com and register for our free newsletter and to find today's audio clip of Dr. Sigafoose in its entirety. Remember to give, love, do, and serve.